Motion is the key to making great rhythm guitar parts. It's the motion that allows you to make your rhythm parts more melodic, interesting, and memorable. So in this video, I'm going to show you one way that you can create motion using chords over a dominant seventh type sound. This idea that I'll be showing you can be played in multiple different styles and is adaptable to any key. So this is intended to help you uncover one of the pathways across the neck that you can use as a basis for new ideas anytime you play over a dominant seventh chord. So you'll find that this is useful for any style of music that uses dominant sevenths, which is most of Western music. So blues and jazz particularly use these chords a lot, but you'll also find them in rock, funk, country, bluegrass, folk, soul, and more styles. So use this idea as a framework, and once you have it down, move it to different keys to see how it feels in different areas of the neck. Also, mess with the rhythm to make it your own. So we're going to be playing over a G7 chord. So we'll be starting in third position where we have this nice little pocket. If we play G7 in this position, we can play F on the fourth string, B on the third string, and D on the second string. The root note we can play on the sixth string to hear the context for those other notes. This is a common voicing for G7, and we're going to take this and drop out the root note. So now what we have is F, B, and D, which are the three notes that make up the B diminished triad. So those three notes are the 3, the 5, and the flat 7 of the G7 chord. So that triad nicely covers the important notes that define the sound of a G7. In this arrangement, it would be a B diminished triad in second inversion because the flat 5 is on bottom, B, the root note, is in the middle, D, the third, flat 3 is on the top. Like I said, over G, this makes a G7 chord. So we're going to be playing with the inversions of that diminished chord today as a way to play over the dominant chord. So from here, we'll play the chord on beat 1, and then on beat 2, we're going to move up the top note by a whole step from D on the second string to E. So this is going from a regular G7 to what would be like a G13. That's the 6th. We're just using that as a melodic note to lead us up to the next inversion. So we'll invert the diminished chord up to the next shape, which is the B diminished in root position, B, D, F. So here we'll play this chord on the 1, and then we're going to move the top note up a whole step from F to G, moving in an 8th note pattern now. So we're quarter notes down here, 1, 2, 3, and. So then we'll shift the position to our next inversion of the diminished chord. This would be first inversion, but this time we're going to go, it would be here for the B. I'm at the 12th, 10th, and 12th fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a whole step so I can slide into that chord. This is kind of like doing an F7 into G7, or A diminished into B diminished. So from the beginning, we go 1, 2. So finally, we shift to the last inversion of B diminished, which is the same shape we started with. But again, we're going to start a whole step down, so we have room to slide up by half steps in 8th notes again, just like we did on the previous shape. So that last change is a little tricky, going from this shape to that shape. So practice that change and then try to play this in time to a metronome. So practice this idea with a metronome and try playing it straight as well as swung. Move it into new keys and try it over different chord changes. So I'd suggest starting with a simple 12-bar blues in whatever style you like, whether it's a blues or a jazz blues, funk blues, any type of blues will work, and you can adapt it to fit rhythmically into a pattern and style that you're comfortable in. If you like this video, please check out my website if you aren't already watching there. I have a free mini course that I'd like to give you, and it's called Pentatonic Pathways, and it's a set of workouts to help you level up your dexterity and soloing skills. So you can find that at practicemakesbettermusic.com. Next week, I've got a great lesson coming on an exercise that I think could be very helpful and transformational for your playing. We're going to look at practicing scales in a single position, but instead of running the scale in a linear fashion, we'll be playing the arpeggios of the entire chord family in one position. This idea opened up a lot of possibilities for me when I began practicing it, so I think you'll get something out of that. Stay tuned as that lesson will be coming out next week, and until then, thanks for watching. So you may have noticed that in this video, I'm wearing the same clothes as I was in the last video because I made them on the same day. And actually, I made 5 videos on the same day because I'm going on tour in Europe and I leave in a few days as of making this. And as of releasing next week's video, I will be in Europe. So that's why I'm in the same outfit the whole time. But I'm going to try to release some lessons from the road. It's going to be iPhone quality like this is, but I'm also going to release some footage from tour just to kind of show you guys what I'm up to. So anyway, I hope you enjoy these lessons, and I'll be back in Oregon where I live at the middle of November. So I'll be back to making new lessons, and I think I'll change my clothes for the next few lessons. Next time I make a batch of lessons, I'll have a wardrobe change so that maybe you won't be able to tell if you're even paying attention, if anyone is even paying attention. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the likes and comments and all the subscribes and everything. Just trying to provide helpful information here, things that I find useful, and actually this is really great for my playing too, because I'm digging into concepts that are super important and fleshing them out in my own understanding as I'm creating these lessons for you. So I really appreciate you guys that are into what I'm doing, and I appreciate the support. So anyway, have a good one.